What's up? I'm Don Chenz. Welcome to my review of Trippie Redd's newest album, MANSION MUSIK. I gave it one listen through. I'm going to go run through my thoughts, and then I'm going to give it a rating. The ratings we're going to go with are either going to be one and done, so that means I listened to it that one time, didn't like it, not going to come back to it.
That's all trash.
Give it another chance. Sometimes I feel like albums need a second or even a third listen to maybe get into it, feel the vibe of it. So that means, wasn't really for me the first time, but I think maybe a second listen will do it for me.
Second time's a charm.
Adding songs to the playlist. So that means there were a bunch of songs I liked. I'm going to throw on the playlist that I listened to, and I'm going to keep them moving. And lastly, spinning it. That means I love the album. I'm going to be running it front to back over and over and over again because it was a good album.
Perfect.
All right. Now let's get into it. So before I even listened to this album, I knew exactly what I was getting myself into. There were 25 tracks. It was an hour and 16 minutes of runtime, and there were so many features that it looked like the track list for a DJ Khaled album. So I knew exactly what this was going to be before I even listened to it, and that was a big stinky pile of mid. And boy, was I right. Let's start first with the features. Albums that have this many features, there were over 20 features on this album. Albums with that many features cannot be good. Albums like this are never cohesive sonically, and it comes off like the artist is trying to compensate for a lack of quality in the music, so they're trying to make up for it with big name features. Good features are placed strategically, and they're based on chemistry and figuring out who would sound best on this song, not just, I'm going to dump a big name person on it, and you're just going to jump to it because you're a Lil Baby or a Future fan. And it comes off like he's clout chasing, just trying to drag and drop big name features. You're going to see the track list go, ooh, I like this artist, ooh, I like that artist, and that's just what's going to hook you in. And I'm really curious how much money this album costs, because with this many features and big name features at that, and then my assumption that this isn't going to do too well with its first week album sales, I would be shocked if they turned a profit on this album. I don't understand Lil Baby's verses. Lil Baby's verse on Fully Loaded was borderline unlistenable in my opinion, and then his verse on Dark Brotherhood sounded way off beat and just weird. Like, I don't know what's gotten into him, but his last album wasn't too great, and then his future verses here falling flat, just not a good performance from him. Juice WRLD's opening verse on Nightcrawler started off great, and I was really feeling it at the beginning, but then it started to tail off and didn't really feel right to me. And also, realistically, we just need to let this man rest. If an artist tragically passes away, they probably have enough music done or close to done for a close collaborator of theirs to put together a good posthumous album. There's probably a few feature verses left over for their close friends and other artists they worked a lot with to, throw on their albums and stuff. But after that, everyone just needs to chill. It just feels like you're ruining the artist's legacy when you're digging through hard drives just trying to find any semblance of a finished verse that you could just throw on any artist album. Travis Scott's verse on Crazy Train was super weird. The mix was crazy messed up. I was confused like something was wrong when I first listened to it. I had to rewind it. You can't even hear the beat. It gets all muffled. They totally switched it up. And it just seems like now, for some reason, every single recent Travis Scott verse, they're like totally flipping the beat and doing something totally different for him, as if like he can't just do the beat of the actual song. The first one that comes to mind is his verse on Pussy and Millions on Drake and 21 Savage's recent album, Her Loss. And this was the most disappointing song for me personally, because Trippie Redd and Travis Scott did a song years back, Dark Knight Demo, which I freaking absolutely love. And I had high expectations for this song, and it was just total train wreck. Get it? Crazy train wreck. See what I did there?
Genius.
The Ski Mask the Slump God song with the toilet water, where he's like literally putting toilet flushing sounds and poop noises and stuff. Like, I don't understand that. It didn't sound like a joke. Like, I feel like that should have been a joke. And if it came off sonically like a joke, I would have gotten it. But you're trying to make a hard song with all this heavy bass, and it's like toilet flushing sounds. Like, sorry, man, that's just not really what my vibe is. And with all of these big name artists and features and everyone he put on this track list, my favorite verse from a featured artist was on Armageddon from Rob 49. I don't even know who Rob 49 is, which proves my point that big name features doesn't equal good features. You got to go with the chemistry, who fits on the song, and all that. And speaking of people who fit on the song, I can't believe there wasn't a Playboi Carti feature, because he was the big name artist that would fit the most on this album. So I don't know why that didn't work out, but that was the only big name that would have made sense in my opinion. All right, now let's get into production. I didn't recognize most of the producers on this album, but the production just felt repetitive, and from song to song, every beat just felt indistinguishable, and it just felt like the same beat with a new featured artist on it. Just lots of heavy bass, and the mix kind of sounded weird, like the artists were layered too low versus the beat, and it just was kind of hard to hear the artist when they're rapping. And I feel really bad saying all of this because this album was executively produced by Chief Keef, who I love, and I feel like I'm doing something wrong by kind of being hard on it, but this wasn't it. And my favorite song on this album was the closing track Colors, which was produced by Pierre Bourne, one of the only producers that I recognize, and the song with the most unique beat versus the rest of it. The production on this was honestly more similar to Trippie Redd's typical sound, and it was totally different from the rest of the album. This was the only one that I really enjoyed, probably the only song that I will realistically go back to after this. Although I will say I really appreciated the Swag Like Ohio Part 2 song and Trippie Redd paying homage to the most legendary Lil B song I've ever heard. And if there's anything I've learned in life, it's to always pay respect to the bass god. Otherwise, he'll unleash a terrifying curse on you. Just ask James Harden and Kevin Durant.
All right, we got to get into these curses because they are the talk of the NBA playoffs. How do you properly execute a curse?
Well, you know, me as Little B, I don't have the power to curse people, but it's up to the bass god.
Okay.
And I tap into the bass god, and he gives me that final confirmation that is like, you know, you can do that and give me that.
Overall, I do respect Trippie Redd from deviating from his typical sound, that like emo singing type of vibe, and going for this and trying something new, but it just sounded a little forced, a little unnatural. The features made it feel like he was clout chasing and trying to compensate for a lower quality album, and overall just wasn't really feeling it. So for now, I feel like Trippie Redd should probably change his name to Trippie Mid or Midi Red, something like that, and then go back to the drawing board and try something else because, like I said, this wasn't it. I'm giving it a rating of 1 and done. I will not be going back to this, save for, like I said, maybe the song Colors that was produced by Pierre Bourne, because I enjoyed that one. Other than that, don't think I'll be going back to this. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to like this video on your way out. Make sure to subscribe to my channel for more content. I will see you soon. Peace.